Rev TV brings the world of motorsports into your home with over 100 live race series such as MotoGP, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, Extreme E, World Superbike, and the newly launched all-electric E1 series. From 2 wheels to 4, from land to sea, your destination is Rev TV.
Live from Nevada, we welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where we are set for racing action once again here on a fantastic Saturday afternoon. Welcome to the SRA Superspeedway Blitz and to Saturday night action here on Green Flag TV. My name is Little Ramble alongside Lucas Moody. We bring you all of racing action from start to finish here of this stellar 125 lap race here in the desert. Lucas, it's round number 2. The first race at Daytona had it all. It had the thrills, it had the spills, it had a good, clean finish to boot, and tonight, hoping that it's going to be no different, but hopefully with a bit more green flag race than what we saw last week in the Sunshine Stage.
Yeah, it's the trucks around Vegas. We know it's going to deliver chaos, but we hope for some good, clean racing as well. Here at Green Flag TV, you know how much we love our green flag run, so as much as we do love our wrecks, we also like some good, clean, hard racing. But here in the middle of the desert, I expect some good racing from these truck series tonight, and I'm super excited to get into it. The Speedway Blitz, my first time ever casting this new series for the SRA.
It's always acting as a recruitment series for these guys, and we can expect it to be no different with these drivers here this afternoon. 50 trucks were initially registered for racing action here this afternoon. Currently, only 30 are actually situated up on the racetrack, with the top 43 being taken in to the race here this afternoon. Right now, down to the racetrack, it's a cool track. Only 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, 7 miles an hour of winds blowing off to the west, and it's going to be a pretty chilly night out there considering we're in the desert, but you know how it is, right? It's hot in the day, and boy, it gets cold at night.
Yeah, cold track and a big intermediate like Las Vegas gives it a lot of racing potential. It's going to be multi-groove racing. Multiple lines are going to be working from these drivers today, and that's what I love to see about this nice and cold track. There's going to be so much grip out there for these drivers to play with.
And for the time being, drivers are currently gridded on up, and they are waiting, of course, for the drivers' meeting to conclude before drivers will be rolling on off here this afternoon. And, of course, before we get to all of that, we can go ahead and talk about a little bit more about what's going to be coming on up here for the Superspeedway Blitz. As only race number 2, still early though, and it was, of course, defending champion Zane Bailey from the Gen 4 Series, a now 2-time back-to-back champion who took the season opener. He'll be starting this race from the top of the points boards. Carter Casey and Dana Adkins, twin rookies, will be second and third of the points, with Maurice Gomillion tied for that third place position. Charles Fletcher, yet another rookie, rounds out the top 5, and then Bryce Hint and David Overstreet for 6th and 7th, and it was actually Ted Rekich, the first driver that was an SRA regular back in 8th place, who's going to be setting things out for him here this afternoon. But after today, it's Indianapolis, then Echo Park Speedway, then back to Michigan, to Pocono, to Auto Club, Talladega, and the season closes out at the Nashville Superspeedway on January 10th. So, Lucas, plenty of races still yet to come, and all of them just as high speed as the one that came before it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense with a name like Speedway Blitz. You do expect these big intermediate tracks to be the ones we race at. I mean, you talked about it, Michigan, Echo Park, Dega as well, Indianapolis even. It's funny, the track that doesn't really fit the vibe of the season is Nashville. But of course, we all know the joke, it does have that super speedway name, so it does make sense why it made its way on to the Speedway Blitz. And of course, here we are tonight at Vegas, which definitely lives up to its name, Speedway, even in the next-gen cars around here, those top-of-the-line NASCAR Cup Series cars. This can be a flat-out track during qualifying, so this is definitely one that lives up to the name of the series.
And all of this with so far 31 trucks just about gridded up and ready to rumble here this afternoon. So I think it's about high time that we take a run down, Lucas, of who's going to be where on the starting grid here this afternoon as the field lines up a little something like this. Started on pole position this afternoon. It's a familiar name to most fans of the SRA. Michael Gudger starting his race for pole position alongside his teammate Paul Witt alongside him on the front row. Row 2 of the grid, it's Aaron Raymond. He starts alongside Kevin Roy with White Castle number 31. Lance Yancey starting back in 5th place. He is alongside Ryan Wayne. From there, it's Zane Bailey and Cody Witt. And then rounding out the top 10, Jim Duda and Jeff Gilmore.
And then starting in 11th, it's going to be Jared Duda, I assume maybe the brother or father of Jim, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin lining up alongside him. Then in lucky spot number 13, it's Zachary King alongside Elric George. Just behind them in 15th and 16th, it is Dan Witt and Jim Coleman-Sperger, another regular of the series. And in 17th and 18th, it's Ted Wreckage and Tyler Moeller. And to wrap out your top 20, it's Dan Adkins and Thomas Lane Jr.
Moving back through the field, it's going to be Elliot Kandra, Brian Miskel Jr., Jordan Martin, Aaron May, and then David Anderson, Noah Swafford towards the rear, Joshua Jernigan and Kyle Strauss. And then rounding out the top 30, Stephen McCook and Joshua Burke. For the rest of the drivers gridded on up, you only have John Boalta Jr. and other drivers that would be looking to potentially start this race here this afternoon include Brendan Queen, Adam Fulford, Nick Goebel, Justin Potrikas, Logan Wilson, Dylan Terry, Dylan Wilbers, Michael Sarley, Christopher Lull, Sean Berry, Kevin Battering, and Nathan Fryer. But only the top 31 have gridded on up so far, and we are still awaiting for the pace car to roll on out for the lone pace lap here this afternoon.
Yeah, Logan Wilson, it's a name that a lot of Bengals fans might be a little more familiar with, as he is a Bengals player. He was, I guess I should say, before he was traded away. I doubt it's the same Logan Wilson, but you never know. And it would be really cool if it was the same pro NFL football player. But probably not. But yeah, once again, it will be Michael Gudger taking the pole here today, lining up alongside Paul Witt. And if you guys are a fan of the SRA series, that is no surprise to you at all, because the pace that 64 car brings to these ovals is absolutely insane in this league.
So the field working their way into turn numbers 3 and 4, and it is looking like this is going to end up being a 31 truck race here this afternoon, as Gudger, Witt, Raymond, Roy will be the top 4 contenders. Lucas, any potential favorites here on this one?
Oh, I mean, I'm always a big Zane Bailey guy. I know he's starting back there in 7th, but never doubt what that all-blue car can do around an oval.
Well, the field going to make their way into the final couple of corners, and Las Vegas Motor Speedway awaits for no one. They often say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but for a traveling series like this, a lot of the baggage that's formed here may very well follow drivers around throughout the remainder of the season. It's got a tendency to always be interesting, and we'll see what'll happen here this afternoon. They'll make their way into the Echo Park restart zone. The pace car is down, and then time to get the party started. It's go, go, go in Nevada! Cruising down the back straightaway, Michael Gudger leading the way for this field at the end of lap number 1, with everyone else fanning out behind, looking for 3 wide for 3rd down the front straightaway, and we have got lap number 1 to the books.
Yeah, my pick of the day, Zane Bailey, already up 3 positions into 4th as he sends a beautiful move bottom of 3 to pass the L53 and the 53, I should say. And now Zane Bailey hunting down the 429 of Paul Witt, who's currently on the outside of Aaron Raymond. I mean, Nolan, even though it is a series that's about recruitment, it's these 4 up here at the top, just like it always has been.
Well, they continue to scrap this one out as Zane Bailey drives her in deep into turn numbers 1 and 2. Paul Witt moving his way up to the outside line. Aaron Raymond down on the inside. Near contact between the two as Paul Witt tracks up and again nearly pushing him up the road in turn number 3. And Raymond's truck looking like it might be getting a little bit tight on him. And again, we're fanning out 3 wide, deeper in the field.
Yeah, and this is what one of the coolest parts about Las Vegas is even though it's not a super speedway, you don't get the bump drafting as much as you do at Daytona and Talladega. You get this 2 wide kind of formation where the draft is so important, and even though they're not bumping each other, they're not neck and neck, or they are neck and neck, but they're not like, you know, fender to rear fender, something like that. They're still able to stay 2x2 double file so deep in the pack for so much of the race. It always provides good racing, and it always provides that kind of hornet's nest effect that you hear us talking about a lot. As now the 57 and 27 kind of finished out their battle. In the 57 here, it's Jeff Gilmore looking further ahead. Maybe he can start setting his sights on the 8s of Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
Matthew Stern was supposed to be running in this race, and he is not going to be this afternoon. And hold on, as the 4 of Cody Witt kicking the tail end down. He had some help there from Jim Coleman'sberger, but again, Matthew Stern had a CPU issue that he had to deal with, and well, that sees him unable to compete in racing action here this afternoon. A close shave, though, for Cody Witt's number 4, as it nearly fell apart with him and Jim Coleman'sberger. Take a look, find out what happened.
Yeah, we were able to catch a little bit of it. We saw the 11 of Jim Coleman'sberger have a nasty move down the inside.
Carlo.
Yeah, Cody Witt went to close the door. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair point. It was a bit of a send though from Coleman'sberger. I'm not gonna lie though.
All the while up front, Aaron Raymond trying to pressure Michael Gudger for the race lead, but Gudger's teammate Paul Witt hounding the door of the number 6, refusing to let him in. Now here comes another IL driver, Jared Duda, the son of Jim Duda, trying to look to the inside of Aaron Raymond. No dice into turn number 3. Paul Witt fends off the run from Raymond Motorsports, and now he looks to the outside for the lead on his teammate.
Here we go, 429 outside of the 64. The outside line is usually very, very good here at Vegas for defending, especially because the run that Michael Gudger is going to get off the corner is just going to be so slow. And not only will Michael Gudger lose the position of Paul Witt if he's not able to hold on, he might just start falling back in the order if he's not able to retake that outside line. But at least for now, these 2 IEL teammates are doing a great job of running it side by side and effectively bringing the entire pack to a halt and just saying, well, if I stay low and you stay high, Paul Witt, then where are they supposed to go to overtake us?
Well, the problem is they're burning up their tires, though, in doing this. You can't run side by side for too long around here, and they're going to quickly get it back down to single file. Raymond again still forced up on the outside line. Tracks like Vegas tend to be Raymond's bread and butter. So I'm expecting for that number 6 truck to be doing well here this afternoon, and so far, really putting up a fight for some of these drivers up near the front.
Yeah, and Aaron Raymond also one of the more aggressive drivers on the grid, as he likes to race kind of in that Ayrton Senna mentality of, you know, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you no longer racing drivers. We're 3 wide into turn 3. Aaron Raymond goes for the gap on the bottom, as we were just talking about. Is he able to stick it?
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Points around!
Hard into the outside wall. He's going to collect a couple. Caution number 1 of the day. One truck scrambles into the infield. Witt's going to come to rest near the outside wall. And somehow that doesn't end up being a massive pileup, but a huge crash from Paul Witt as he backed it in hard into the outside fence.
Yeah, that looked like it was just behind that 3 wide battle. So the 3 wide was actually clean. But let's see if maybe because Paul Witt's in the top of the 3 wide right here. Maybe he has some contact with Jared Duda. Jared just didn't expect him to be going so slow. Yeah, I think that might be it.
I think it was also a case of Witt was going down. You look at how the back wheels lifted off the ground. That truck wanted to catch flight, and I think that was the 34 of Lance Yancey that spun down to the inside, and boy, a hard hit into the outside wall for Paul Witt. Sorry. Take another look at this one. That speed.
Yeah, once again, the 429 top of 3 moves down a little bit as the 53 moves up. I mean, I'm looking at it, Nolan. I think that's a classic 2 cars fighting for the same space. Looks like a racing incident to me. I am curious to see if we can get it on board with the 8s. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, excuse me. That name's definitely a mouthful with the hyphenated last name. He had a really good perspective of it, and I think he was even able to lock up the brakes quick enough to not get too much damage there. So that was a really interesting angle.
You see everybody scrambling on the front straightaway. That could have been a lot worse than it ended up being. A huge chunk of drivers, by the way, coming to pit road. Michael Gudger's out first. The top 2 staying out on the racetrack. Well, actually, Tyler Muller missed his pit stop, so he will not be able to come down pit road. So you got Cody Witt, who stayed out. Tyler Muller missed his stall. Everyone else looking to be taking fuel only here this afternoon. And this is going to be the aforementioned look on board with Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And then number 8 as he caught a piece of it right at the tail end.
So you see he's just behind Yancey, so we can't see too much ahead of him. Kind of driving blinds in a way that mattered. Oh my gosh.
Just never saw it coming. Had no clue what was going on in front of him.
Yeah, that's just one of the really unfortunate parts of racing, is if you're racing somebody super close in front of you, you really take away a lot of your visibility, and that's going to be some hefty damage for that 8 machine. And as you can see, he's fallen completely out of that top picture and still in the pits, matter of fact. Nolan, that 8 machine's got so much damage to repair.
Pace car lights go out as we are situated to return to green flag racing. So an early caution here puts us on the slowdown for the first time this afternoon, Lucas, and still have all 31 trucks that started this race leading on the lead lap, and all of them still on the racetrack. Based off of how quick that first yellow flag comes out, you think we're going to be getting a host of them here?
I mean, I'm going to hope not, and I think, you know, we did make it 12 green laps, and let me tell you, those 12 laps brought a lot of good battles. So I think if we can keep it clean like that, we'll be pretty good. And to be honest, that was a pretty big racing incident, that last contact, so I wouldn't expect too much of that.
Green flag out in the air from the Echo Park restart zone. Cody Witt being pushed by Gudger, already breaks clear of the duo of Aaron Raymond and Jim Kolmensberger. Jim Duda holding Kolmensberger and Raymond up the racetrack, not letting them clear down for third. Zane Bailey trying to follow through as well. Jim Duda, sweeps up to immediately cut off the run, and we're side by side for the lead all over again. Kolmensberger wants to find a way through, contact, and he's up and into the outside wall.
Looks like he's able to save it, though. That is, of course, Tyler Moeller. He was in that group of drivers that are, you know, SRA regulars, and you know, he was racing with them pretty well and just got a little bit of contact. I think he got hit on the left rear quarter panel just very, very slightly from one of these guys. And that's going to put him way, way down the pecking order, all the way back into 21st now with some hefty damage on that right side as well, definitely. But right now it's Michael Gudger outside of Cody Witt for the lead. Zane Bailey inside of Jim Duda for that third place position. And it looks like Ted Reckich just clears Aaron Raymond, bringing that 27 machine up into 5th.
Zane Bailey down on the apron, clears up from the 27 of Wreckage, while Cody Witt maintains that inside line. Tyler Muller has come down pit road, and he's got a black flag for speeding on the pit entry as well. Unfortunate for him, while Jim Duda going to cut down to the inside and clear himself. Caution out already. And we got a multi-truck mess over here in turn 4.
Yeah, looks like the 83 SL24 making some moves down the track. And the 8 is once again involved. The 34 has to slide his car to not make any contact with that very Christmas decorated South Park, I believe, too, if I'm not mistaken there, Nolan. But yeah, let's see how this one all started.
Kind of looked like there was a few different incidents that kicked this one off. I'm trying to look around to find where it came from. Right there, the 83 getting turned. That's Stephen Mago that got spun to the inside by the 22 Joshua Jernigan. Back up into traffic and nowhere for the 2 up top to go. So he spins down the racetrack, and then Joshua Berg, the 24, just goes down, and he took out the 8 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who then spins back up the racetrack. So not quite 2 separate incidents, just one incident leading directly into the next.
At the end of the 34 has to slide in his car at the very tippy top of that banking to not make contact with the 8 either. Yeah, just a chain reaction of events as it all starts here. The contact.
What was that all about?
Yeah, that was sus there, and he gets away with it. Do you see that?
Yeah, that was completely uncalled for. And then, of course, Joshua Burke's truck is broke, right? He's got no steering control in that thing. He's just trying to lock it down, and then I don't know what to make of that, honestly. Let's ride on board with Jernigan here. He sees the 83 up top and just left rear hooks the guy.
Yeah, that is...
Why would you do that?
Yeah, that's definitely something weird. Maybe he didn't think his car was drifting up towards the track.
He's by the wall.
Either that or...
He's quite literally all the way up against the outside wall. I mean, look at how far by the wall he is. He actually hit the wall before he got turned. It's like, what is he supposed to do there?
Yeah, that's not a good look for that teal machine, the 22. I think he'll definitely get some some not so nice words said to him in the Discord server after this race is all said and concluded. But anyways, Michael Gudger going to be taking this restart from the point once again. He has been absolutely dominant this race so far, absolutely dominant in our last championship standings as well in that Gen 4 car. Him and Zane Bailey, I should say, were the 2 big dominating names in that factor as well. But yeah, you look at that top 5, Nolan. Gudger, Duda, Wreckage, Bailey, Raymond. I mean, those are 5 very familiar names to us. But past that, Zachary King, Jeff Gilmore, and Dan Witt as well. I'm not familiar with those names, so either they didn't stick in my memory from when I was casting SRA, or those are 4 drivers that the recruitment series has brought in and are fresh in this series, which is very good to see.
So lap 19 of 125, and still a long distance to go. Over 100 laps yet to be run. Tyler Muller officially out of the race after he found the outside wall quite heavily on the restart in an incident that did not bring a caution.
But yeah, I think I'm going to go back to my pick earlier. Zane Bailey started this race in 7th, now currently running 4th. And if I know anything about that 20 machine, he is one of the drivers that he likes to play it a little more conservative. You know, he likes to play for that tire-saving game. So I'm really expecting his long run and pace to really be what impresses me, what impresses the rest of the drivers here tonight. So even though he's currently running 4th, I'm still going to fully back him here.
Free flag back in the air as Jim Duda and Ted Rekich beating doors with one another. 2 of the more aggressive drivers in the series. And you got Zane Bailey looking to get into the mix. Aaron Raymond as well. So Rekich looking to go down the inside of Michael Gudger. And now Wreckage to the lead for the first time today.
Yeah, Ted Wreckage, I was trying to think of why I didn't recognize him in the 27 because he's usually running the 13 if I'm not mistaken, Nolan. So I don't know if the 13 was taken by somebody else. It is, yeah. The 13 was taken by Jordan Martin for this race. So yeah, Wreckage branding a completely different number than normal, that 27. Which is really unfortunate for me to see because I love the 13. It's my lucky number. It has been since I was in 3rd grade.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's all good.
Jim Duda washing up the racetrack as Aaron Raymond got to his door. Gudger now to the outside of the 27. Back down into turn numbers 1 and 2. Gudger holding firm. Wreckage on the inside. Back behind, Zachary King, one of the newcomers. Trying to look up the middle of 3 wide. He's going to back out of it, though. And we remain 2 by 2 through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Gudger back in the lead. Ted Wreckage, Aaron Raymond fighting for second just behind. And you can see those drivers loving to use that apron. And you do get a little bit of time by using, but every single time you force those tires up and off of the apron, it's going to wear them out just that bit more every lap as we have a monster car going into the walls, just giving us some slight taps behind them. So yeah, even though it does give you some time, these drivers have to be careful about using that apron every single lap after lap. It'll really take a toll on your tires, as now the newcomer Zachary King in that, well, his car says 1, but the standings say 49, so we'll say it's a 49 machine.
Cut down and nearly took himself out across the nose of Wreckage now. Aaron Raymond clear for second place, and he's trying to push to the back end of Michael Gudger. Cruising on down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Off of the final corner, and still they remain 2 by down the front straightaway.
Yeah, now they're able to single file out. That's Jim Duda getting the pass onto Ted Wreckage, but it's going to be blue car on blue car here. Zane Bailey on Jeff Gilmore, I believe. That is Elliot Condra just behind them. That's the 20 on the, oh, so it's Dan Witt in the 41 car. My bad, and the Dan Witt now has that inside line of Zane Bailey, and this is going to be a really hard move to pull off, especially with Bailey having that outside line, having that draft advantage.
Trying to send her in deep as Jeff Gilmore tracking up from the inside line. Elliot Condra in the mix right behind that bar of shoot. One truck into the wall. Hold on. Elric George dropping through the field as the Red Bull number 40 F-150 tanked the outside wall entering turn 3.
Yeah, it's going to drop him all the way back into... I can't even see. I see. I think like 30th position, almost. So that's not going to be how that driver wants his day to have gone so far. But, you know, sometimes you make contact with the wall. And we're 3 wide, actually. That's Zachary King, the newcomer in the middle of Ted Wreckage and Duda. This is going to get spicy.
Oh, there he goes. Hard into the outside
spicy
wall. Takes out Wreckage. Big time hit into the fence. Gilmore gets involved. It's the big one on the front straightaway. Paul Wendt is in it. Ay, 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 ay.
And at 429, he's already used his 1 fast repair, so it's going to be the end of the day for that car as that front left side, Nolan. That's not what you want it looking like.
That was ugly there, coming out of turn number 4, and I think drivers just getting a little bit too comfortable trying to pinch it in. Jim Duda was really wanting to hold that 47 machine down, and they got hooked together up into the wall, and it's on from there.
Yeah, the 053 spins out, hits a 27. People try to go low to avoid contact, but you see Dan Witt, Elliot Condra, Jim Coleman-Sperger getting involved as well. Ted Wreckage still spinning on the front straight, and I mean, what is that, like 8 or 9 cars involved in that one?
We saw the 28 truck, the Monster Energy machine, come piling in there as well, right in the middle of all of that mess. At speed. There's the hit to the wall, and that is all she wrote. Good night.
Aaron May, another one of those innocent bystanders that has a huge hit into the wall, that Logitech Dark Black 10 machine. And yeah, Jim Duda, a lot of these drivers coming down pit road, getting some new tires, but also checking that fast repair and getting their car fixed up. But like I said earlier, unfortunately for Paul Witt in the 429, he had to use that fast repair earlier. He had that contact, I believe it was lap 12, so he's not going to be able to get that car back on track, and that might just be his race over for tonight, unfortunately.
Caution number 3 out in this one, and there is still a good distance of racing yet to be had this afternoon. We'll take ourselves a quick step back and be back with more when we return on Green Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where racing action is set to continue here once again. And boy, a rough crash on the front straightaway here. It is the big one. And Lucas, we are gearing up to go back to racing action this afternoon. And from the looks of how this race has gone on so far, we're still in for a wild ride.
Oh yeah, I mean, these drivers, they're already getting feisty. They're already battling each other hard. We've seen 2 wrecks now caused because of 3 wide action. And I expect to see no difference for these last remaining 95 laps.
Green flag back in the air. Zane Bailey not going down onto the apron. You're not obligated to go down there like some drivers think you are. Jim Duda, Michael Gudger tucking in behind. Aaron Raymond followed out in front, and I can guarantee you this ain't going to go more than 10 laps, but this is how they're going to be racing with one another. They're not even making it. 1 lap is into the wall. Goes Jim Duda up into the air. Gudger's collected as well, and that's right at the head of the field. We got more trucks spinning around. Big hit into the outside wall in turn 3.
Jeff Gilmore in the 57 couldn't get his car under control and just murked Devin Anderson in that 29 machine.
And Elric.
There might be some choice words about that one.
And Elric George caught up in this as well. What did I tell you, right? If they keep going to this, right, they're not going to make it 5 laps, and they didn't even make it 1. That was just inevitable with how they were running each other.
Yeah, I mean, look how they're just so close to each other. They're racing each other so hard. Bailey gets into Duda, who gets into Gudger up top, and I mean, it's 3 SRA regulars that are just, they're really putting everything out on the line here today at Las Vegas, and I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't think they're doing penalties for this series, so I mean, it just makes you drive with a little bit more of that edge, you know?
And then behind, there is even more drivers getting involved in some incidents, as that is Elric George, who had been found himself getting tangled up in this. They were checking up for the crash up front, rightfully so. And looking like George just lost the back end and took out the 83. Kendra lucky to avoid.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy, I guess I should say, from the 40, Elric George there. I just don't think he slowed up in time, and yeah, that's once again how the contact started.
And here comes the second crash here. As Gilmore up the track and a big hit into the wall as he collects the 29.
Yeah, that was that accident I saw right at the tail end there. And I mean, that's a huge hit. Yeah, it's one of the moments where, like, thank God it's not real life, you know.
Look at how high the 053 gets off the ground here. All four wheels already lifted up, and that truck very close to going over. But the air caught the front end and hooked the truck back around and brought him back down to earth.
Yeah, and then hard contact in the wall again. Two big contacts in the wall for the 053. So the huge contact as well between the 29 and the 57. Now we're on board with the 09 of Elliott Kandra. Get another look at it here.
Hello. Bit of a howdy.
I know,
do.
I was about to say, that's kind of funny. They just, like, show up.
Just arriving on scene, and it's like, oh, didn't expect to see you here. Lap 34 is what we're now running. It'll be 35 when we take to the green, and still, fourth caution of the day with 90 laps still to run.
Now, I'm not too familiar with this new format, Nolan. You might be able to answer, but is there a time limit to this race that we have to start getting concerned about? If we get too many cautions, we might be under a time limit finish and not actually a lap finish.
2.5 hours. So if we
we got plenty of time.
If we hit that time limit, I am going to have some choice words of my own. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's a moment where I disconnect from the call and we say sayonara, I think.
You would borderline have to run, I think, about 80 or 90 laps of this race under caution for you to hit that number.
Yeah, I mean, I can do the math. I know a regular lap's about 30 seconds. A caution lap's probably a minute and a half. So yeah, to hit that number, I mean, yeah, you're talking 80% of the race under yellow flag.
Green flag coming out this time by as we are going to gear up. Green flag back in the air on lap 35 of this 125 lapper. Aaron Raymond clearing for the lead. Zane Bailey tucking in line. Jim Duda cuts in line Jared Duda, sorry, cuts in line as well. Brian Mescal Jr. will have to come down to pit road. He's got a penalty to serve, and Zane Bailey going for the top spot.
Yeah, he caught the quarter panel of Aaron Raymond and now has the push, has the backdraft from the 53 of Jared Duda. Is on that now preferred outside line that these drivers are liking to run here. And it looks like my pick of the day, he does! Clears for the top spot on lap 36.
Zane Bailey to the front as Aaron Raymond and Jared Duda continue to fight this one out. Just behind in second place. And if we had a problem back here, as a lot of separation all of a sudden at the back end of things, I don't think we have, but man, the back portion of the pack just falling apart as they don't have the horsepower to keep up anymore from all the damage.
Yeah, with a lot of these drivers being involved in wrecks early on in this race, I mean, that makes sense that, you know, they're not used to the way their car is handling. As Jared Duda also able to get around Aaron Raymond and Michael Gudger. Bottom of 3, Aaron May. Dan Witt up top. He sends it in. He clears the 10. And Michael Gudger uses that faster pair already back in fourth position here, looking for third.
Problem is, if he gets caught up in something else, he doesn't have that safety cushion anymore for him to get back into this race as Gudger pulls down to the inside. Aaron May up to the outside with Raymond just in front. So it's a battle of the Aarons just up the road. Gudger back to take out The Black's tires, number 6 of Aaron Raymond, and Gudger gets clear.
And yeah, looking at this field, I mean, once again, it's just, oh, Aaron Raymond going really high. Sorry, gonna cut myself off there, as I don't know if he's just sick and tired of running that low line, being forced onto it, or if he just got a little bit loose, had to advert to going high, but he's all the way back in 5th, and he might just fall at 6th as well, as something, Nolan, might have happened to that 6th machine. I don't know if he got into the wall, got some damage, or if he's just really hurt his tires.
Well, for now, he still holds to the top. Behind him, the 41 of Dan Witt. Dan Witt chasing Raymond up the hill, nearly gets into the back bumper out of turn 4. Turn 2, sorry. Taylor Butch Benjamin been involved in a couple of crashes tonight. He's taking his fast pair. Look out as Joshua Jernigan up the racetrack, and he nearly cleans out the 41.
Yeah, it's really starting to form a hornet's nest here behind. This is the battle for everywhere from, like, I believe 6th back to 10th. These 6 or 7 drivers here are really fighting hard for it, as Michael Gudger now might have just on the outside of Zane Bailey for the lead. That's a 64 on the 20, and that, Nolan, that is a tale as old as time right there, as the 2 friends, the 2 teammates, and 2 championship rivals are going at it once again here at Vegas.
The result of the Gen 4 series being canned several weeks before the end of the championship resulted in Zane Bailey taking that championship by just 2 points, and Michael Gudger wanted to prove that he can still fight it out here with Bailey. It was Gudger that was the one that was chasing Bailey for the points and ended up putting together some solid performances. Gudger all the way up to the outside line. He is going to get the nose ahead, and this time he leads the lap.
He leads the lap, and Zane Bailey still holding on to that inside line, which is usually not the preferred line, but Michael Gudger, the 64, he doesn't have a draft ahead of him. So it's really not all that bad for the 20 to be on the inside in this occasion, but watch out. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Nolan? Jim Kolmensberger maybe even looking to send it 3 wide, but speaking of 3 wide, Raymond now in the middle of 3. That's Thomas Lane Jr. on the bottom. Jordan Martin on the top as well, and they get everything sorted out as shocker of a race here for Aaron Raymond so far, as remember, he was in 2nd or 3rd not too long ago. Something is up with that 6th machine. I think it has a little bit of damage as Gudger clears for the lead.
Turning lap number 44 and about to be 45. Next time by, it is 80 to go. Zane Bailey closing to the back of Michael Gudger. And Gudger not going all the way to the bottom this time. He's going to hold that one in there. Zane Bailey trying to fight his way through. Jim Kolmensberger under fire as well. Here comes Jared Duda looking for the outside.
Not able to get or to catch the quarter panel of Jim Kolmensberger on that occasion, but he's got a good run out of 4. He's going to have the draft down the main straight. He's going to look for it once again in the 1, but no. Kolmensberger able to put the block just before they get to the corner. But now Aaron May getting antsy of his own, and this is what I love about these tracks like Las Vegas, like Auto Club. It's the risk. If you attack the guy ahead, you put yourself at risk from the driver behind, so you always have to balance. Is this move worth the potential damages that could happen if I'm not able to pull it off, or if I get loose on the corner, if I get super tight and lose all of my momentum? And that's the great racing that Las Vegas brings in. Aaron May sends it down to the inside of the 53 of Jared Duda. They're so close, but by the middle of the corner, Aaron May has lost his momentum. He'll have to file back in line.
Jim Kolmensberger down to the inside, trying to get down to the inside of Jared Duda. A big block on the front straightaway as Duda takes his truck on to the apron here. All the while, Aaron May continues to fight this one out just behind, and you still have as well the 8 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. getting into the mix.
Yeah, and while all this is happening, Gudger and Bailey are just holding a gap to the rest of the field here. If they're able to get the 53 of Jared Judah out of their draft, those two teammates could just really run away with this race. And I think at this point, Bailey has kind of, accepted that he probably doesn't have the pace to pass Gudger. So they're probably just going to play it nice, play it safe, and we still have a battle behind us. Aaron May and Jim Kolmensberger, the 10 versus the 11 now, still fighting at it very hard. Right now, Aaron May on the bottom of Jim and Kolmensberger. We're going to see, can he clear him? No, he cannot. Not at all. He's going to have to send it down to the inside to turn one once again.
And back in the field, you've got Ryan Wayne trying to make that look to the inside. Jim Kolmensberger going to slide that one up and into the middle. Aaron May up top as Kolmensberger holds his truck down to the bottom side. And one truck slowing, that's the 40 of Elric George, caught up in a couple of incidents so far today and with a very damaged beast, and they're going to be forced single file.
Yeah, they're single file, but they're still fanning out. They're still looking for opportunities to pass. They're still driving like it's the last lap of the Daytona 500 right here, as no driver willing to give an inch, even though we're not even halfway through this Las Vegas race here just yet. But Aaron May running fourth place. It looks like he's made his way now through that mid-pack, and now even starting to get a little bit of a gap to Jim Kolmensberger, and might start setting his sights on Jared Judah, who's only 8/10 up the road. But Aaron May might have passed everybody, but they're still fighting behind. That's, of course, Taylor, Butcher, Benjamin, Ryan Wayne having still a little bit of a scrap here, as Ryan Wayne goes all the way to the high side, maybe to look for a run on the 8 next time by into turn 1. Yeah, here he goes down to the inside.
Trying to make that lunge down to the bottom side. Drive's been out here for about 25 laps. Could expect to see them into pit road within the next 20 or so, as Ryan Wayne up to the high side. He is trying to still keep drivers like Benjamin at bay. And speaking of green flag pit stops, here comes Joshua Burke into pit road.
The 24 machine going to take 4 new Goodyear tires and some Sunoco, yes, that's how you say that word. Some good old Sunoco fuel, and get that thing back on the race track, because he's going to be our first green flag pit stop of the day. And as Nolan was saying, we expect some more to be happening in about 15 to 20 lap times. Now Kolmensberger on the inside of Ryan Wayne, and Kolmensberger not able to get past him on that occasion. Ryan Wayne moves that 26/39 machine up into 5th place, and Thomas Lane Jr. now having a look of his own. Not able to get it done. He will have to file in behind Noah Swafford.
Aaron Raymond, the next driver, coming down pit road. So, in fact, the window may very well actually be open already for drivers to start making green flag stops, as Ryan Wayne to the inside of Aaron May. Benjamin, Dan Witt still in the background as well, as we are on one of the longest green flag runs we've had so far today. No one in this pack coming down pit road just yet.
I'm going to have to say jinx, because, whenever somebody mentions, something about a green flag run or something about being cautionless, it always seems like that is just the next thing the universe needs to give us that caution, which is not what we want. We like the green flag run, so I'm going to kind of counteract the jinx that Nolan just gave their race here by doing what my dad always likes to do. Is he always yelled jinx at the TV when a football or baseball announcer says something that he didn't want to happen. But now here we go. This is a battle between Noah Swafford and Joshua Jernigan, I believe. Jernigan having to back off on that occasion. Noah Swafford able to keep that 9th position. But now Thomas Lane Jr. looking to the inside of Joshua Jernigan. This is what I was talking about, Nolan. The 22 machine looked for the pass onto the 17, but that made him easy pickings for 38 behind, and Thomas Lane Jr. does get the move done on that occasion, putting him in the top 10 now.
Seeking to fight this one out is Joshua Jernigan. Stephen McGo up on the outside. He's trying to make a lunge for it as well. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Jim Kolbensberger looking and trying to see if they can maybe try and scrap it out. As Kolbensberger slips up from the inside, and Benjamin not able to have a run going just yet. Still a long ways to go. Over half of the race still left to run here today. The 22 of Jernigan down on the inside, and bit of a bump there that time by from Jordan Martin.
13's getting feisty here. And lap 59, he's bumping the 22 like it's a short track. He's bumping him like it's Martinsville, saying, hey, I'm quicker, get out of my way. But around Las Vegas, that's not something you want to be doing on the exited corners. Maybe it was a bump draft attempt, but it didn't really look like it. It was almost more of like a bash, more than a bump attempt. And once again, the 13 closes in on the 22 so quickly coming off the corner there. And yeah, he just might make quick work of Joshua Jernigan as he puts that machine into 12th place now.
Well, the fight continuing to scrap this one out as Joshua Jernigan up from the inside. Dan Atkins trying to get a run underneath him, not able to get it. Noah Swafford coming to pit road this time by, so Swafford is in. Jared Duda and Zane Bailey still within the fight for second place, as here will come the lot in the next few laps.
Yeah, Zane Bailey starting to fall off from Michael Gudger. Might have burned out his tires a little bit too much, trying to fight his way through the field. And Jared Duda now able to catch up to the back of that nice blue 20 machine. But here's the thing, Nolan. Catching up is one thing. Passing is a completely different thing altogether. And especially against a guy like Zane Bailey, who is provenly quick, it's going to be difficult as Michael Gudger. Nolan, I think it's a bit of a team game. Gudger has slowed up and given Bailey the draft to help him defend from Jim Duda, or Jared Duda, I should say, or they're just coming into pit lane together and I'm completely wrong.
Hold on. They are coming to pit lane together as Zane Bailey kicked the tail end out on the way down. Gudger able to hold him back. And so just shy of the halfway point, we see green flag pit stops officially kicking off for the leading group of this race.
Yeah, that lap 63. A lot of weird cautions and pit stops happened earlier on in this race, so I don't believe that they can take this take of fuel and take it to the end. So definitely at least one more stop for these drivers here, but a good old scheduled green flag pit stop. You love to see it. It means these drivers are racing hard, but keeping it clean, as a lot of drivers coming down pit road. That was Kolbensberger I saw. That's 13. That's Jordan Martin, the 91, as well as Dan Adkins. So a lot of takers to pit road that time by, and it makes sense. I mean, Nolan, if you see first and second place coming down pit road together, I mean, surely you just follow. I mean, they're up there for a reason. They probably know best, and what I like to call it is monkey see, monkey do.
Aaron Raymond right now leading the way. He is on a two-tire strategy. Took right sides only on his stop. However, he came in 9 laps ago, and only 6.7 seconds behind was Michael Gudger. I don't think Raymond's holding on to the lead of this race until the next pit stop window, because Gudger's on fresh 4s, and his tires, all 4 of them, are almost 10 laps fresher to Raymond's only 2 fresh tires.
Yeah, and we also saw how much punishment Raymond was putting into those tires as he really overpushed those tires, overheated them earlier on in that first stint, and you saw him just drop down the order like an absolute rock sinking in water. So if he's still on 2 of those tires from that stint, it's going to be very difficult to hold on, especially Nolan iRacing, when they completely redid and changed their tire model for these NASCAR series cars. They really revamped it and made it so that the right sides wear very evenly to the left sides, and they don't wear much quicker than the left sides like they used to do. So two tire strategy, yes, it is viable, maybe with 5-10 laps left in a race, but this early on is super risky, as we have a nice old battle. That's Thomas Lane Jr. and Jordan Martin fighting it out for 12th position.
Down the back straightaway, Thomas Lane Jr. looking to the inside of Jordan Martin. No dice this time through. Dan Adkins seeking to go up and around the outside of Lane. And don't discount Joshua Jernigan. We've seen Jernigan make some aggressive moves today. He is still very much of this 4-truck scrap for 13th.
Yes, it would be for 13th, of course, my mistake earlier. And Jordan Martin in the 13 car, actually finishing, or not finishing, but was in 13th until he gets the move done on Joshua Burke, putting that car up in a 12th position. And I think Joshua Burke knows that he's got a little bit of damage, knows he's a bit off the pace, and just lets this battle go on by. Very classy thing for the 24 machine. I always appreciate when drivers do that, but now we are too wide. Joshua Jernigan looking for the inside of Jordan Martin. And he just might be able to do it as Martin kind of forced up onto the dirty part of the track and really put him susceptible to this move now by the 22.
Martin and Jernigan, Adkins as well, Lane in the fray. And this is all of a sudden becoming a 5-truck fight for 11th place. The first spot outside of the top 10. Another fight that is continuing to steadily close. Aaron Raymond and Michael Gudger. These are contenders that are getting closer by the lap. And the lap times tell a story, right? Gudger closing in by almost half a second every single lap on average.
About to say, that is a massive chunk of time. A 1/10 of a second, Nolan, around a 30-second track. I mean, that is like incomprehensible to see how big this tire difference is. And once again, it's half a second there on lap 70. So if my math is correct, 7 laps and Michael Gudger will be on the rear bumper of Aaron Raymond. And 7 laps is not a lot of time at all in a 125 lap race. So very shortly, we'll see the 64 and the 6 battling it out. And then I'm sure just after that, the 20 and the 6 will be battling it out, which, I mean, no one knows it. I know it. Those are some fierce rivalries right there. The 64 and the 6, the 20 and the 6, they always bring it to each other. Very, very difficult, or very, very hard, I should say. Very, very clean as well, though, most of the time. We've seen a couple times where it ends in a wreck, but I know that Aaron Raymond, Michael Gudger, and Zane Bailey, they will be racing each other very hard here tonight.
Second truck on the road right there at start finish. That is race leader Aaron Raymond. And you can visually see that they are just running him down.
And as we take you on board, so you guys get a feeling of what it looks like to really be in the driver's seat of one of these Craftsman Truck Series cars. It really is an incredible experience. It's one that I would love to do in real life. Haven't got the chance to do it quite yet, but I have a lot of experience in these NASCAR cars. A lot more stuff from next gen, as that is what my series runs. But Joshua Jernigan, these 4 cars still having a massive scrap here as Jernigan thought he was clear, but Jordan Martin gets the over-under. Now has the inside of that 22 machine. And it's close. It'll be very tight an exit here. Nolan's not able to get him cleared. He might have had it for a little bit, but didn't want to pull off a risky move with 50 laps to go. Very respectable from the 13 of Jordan Martin, especially as it looks like he is going to get the 22 cleared with a little bit of drafting help as well from that 91 of Dan Adkins, and there he does. Oh, No, he still doesn't go for the clear here. The 13 is racing this very, very cautious.
And Jordan Martin right now just not able to get the run that he needed. There he finally achieves it as he clears up from Joshua Jernigan. Dan Adkins situated just behind, and then still have that fight for number 2 up the road that is going nowhere. And all the while they run down race leader Aaron Raymond, who is now less than a second away.
Yeah, 6/10 and counting down that gap between first and second position here. Michael Gudger now definitely well within the draft of Aaron Raymond, and Ryan Wayne actually looking for the move on Zane Bailey. Michael Gudger will slide down the track to give his teammates some of the draft before they head into the corner. That 39 machine, yeah, not at all, as he actually gets around Gudger as well. Ryan Wayne showing a lot of pace here.
And Gudger got loose down the front straightaway to boot, and now Ryan Wayne all the way into the back bumper of Aaron Raymond. Raymond's going to clip the apron, slides up the racetrack. Ryan Wayne sees the door open. He's going to look to drive it in down low. Half a tenth, door to door, bumper to bumper, pokes the nose ahead, and he's going to clear for the lead. Ryan Wayne, new race leader of a turn 4.
Yeah, but watch out for Gudger now. He's making the move on Aaron Raymond, and once he clears that 6th machine, you know he's going to be right up to the bumper of that 39 of Ryan Wayne. And just like Ryan Wayne was able to, makes very quick work of Aaron Raymond. And now Zane Bailey looking to make quick work of that 6th car as well, as it just might be a freight train being run on Aaron Raymond as Jared Duda, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Dan Witt, all waiting in the wings as well to get past that 6th machine. But here we go. Your top 3, Ryan Wayne, Michael Gudger, Zane Bailey. They're going to now fight it out for who gets to win this race with 45 to go here at Vegas.
On board to the back of Ryan Wayne as Gudger utilizing all of that draft on the Nellis straightaway. Going to reel him back in. Gudger looked high, trying to get a run. Pulls to a 10th. Not going for the move though. Here down the front straight, the front stretch. And for the lead, still no move being made.
Yeah, this might be one of the situations where Gudger just has to bide his time as Aaron Raymond gets a bit loose off the corner with Jared Duda just behind them. And yeah, loose again. I think Jared Duda pushed him.
Big move there being made, and Raymond trying to lock it down in the pit road. He does, and what a save for Aaron Raymond. Take another look at this one on the back straightaway.
Oh!
Yeah, there was a bump, all right. Boy, what a recovery for Aaron Raymond. Let's ride on board here with Jared Duda. Went low.
Very aggressive move to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think he had the overlap there to really call that a fair move. And then this is on board with Aaron Raymond. Hold on.
Wow, look at those hands seesawing at the wheel.
Paddled it all the way through turns 3 and 4 and decided, you know what? I'm coming to pit road now for my final stop.
Yeah, I think this is a very good strategy call here from Aaron Raymond. He's on a completely different strategy from everybody else. And I mean, if we keep getting the same sort of racing that we are so far, with 41 laps to go, definitely going to be his last stop of the night. And if he's able to, you know, really not overdrive these tires, make them last until the end of the race, and not have what happened this last time where Michael Gudger and Zane Bailey got past them, Aaron Raymond in that 6, looking to be a favorite to win this race as that lead car on that B-side strategy. As I believe we're on board with, not on board, but that's Aaron Raymond and Jim Coleman'sberger fighting it out. And now Dan Witt, another taker to pit road, as Michael Gudger still on the rear bumper of Ryan Wayne, as there's battles, there's action happening all up and down this track. And Jared Duda, who we just saw get into contact with Aaron Raymond, actually passing Zane Bailey for third, looking now for Michael Gudger. So Michael Gudger, Zane Bailey, those were the two talking points of our Gen 4 series, but Ryan Wayne, Jared Duda, showing why they should be the talking points of this new Craftsman Truck Series.
Gudger down to the inside, Duda all the way up on the top. I don't think Gudger was too content on going for the move. I don't think Jared Duda is going to show any qualms, though. He's going to punch clear of the 64. And will now drive all the way up to the back of Ryan Wayne. 39 laps left to go. A quarter of a second between them. 3/10 now. And Ryan Wayne looking like he started to build up a bubble.
Yeah, this is very respectable racing from these drivers. Ryan Wayne, Jared Duda, Michael Gudger, Zane Bailey, really showing that SRA spirit of just race each other hard, but race each other clean. And the SRA also does something that no other league I've ever been a part of or ever seen does, where it's a claim your own penalty system. And if you do, you actually get less of a penalty points overall for the season for doing it. So if you claim your own penalty, you only get half of a penalty point instead of the full one if the stewards find you at fault. And I really love that idea, because it really makes you, be responsible for the things you cause, and it really puts a good sense of just camaraderie between all the drivers and a lot of respect between all of these guys on track here today. And we're seeing it once again. And now Zane Bailey might just be looking for a move on Michael Gudger. And with those two being teammates in a Discord call right now, Nolan, I wonder if the 64 thinks he's over-pushed his tires and is letting his teammate in that 20 see if he can fight for the lead now here.
Some teams have a every man for himself mentality. Other teams say, all right, we'll try to orchestrate this race like we're conductors here. Right now, though, Jared Duda not content to sit behind Ryan Wayne. He looks to the outside, entering turn numbers 1 and 2. And the 53 pulls to the passenger side door, round the outside of turn 2, and Jared Duda to the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, but watch out. Zane Bailey might have a run as well. And Aaron Raymond actually a lap down on fresher tires. He's just going to drive around all four of these guys with absolute ease, using those new tires to great advantage. And that's what he has to do. He needs to be finding a lot of pace here before everybody else pits and before they put the tire advantage on him. But he has to be careful. If he pushes his tires out like he did the last two stints, he might just fall victim to Michael Gudger and Zane Bailey once again. But Jared Duda now, for the first time this race, takes the points here on lap, I can't do math, lap 90, of course, that's going to be. And Ryan Wayne actually falling all the way down to 4th. I didn't quite see how that happened. I was too focused on Aaron Raymond, but maybe he got a little bit loose or got forced on a bad line there.
Well, it was actually tight. He got caught in all that dirty air. There was contact made for the lead right when Rain was getting around them, and well, one thing just led to the next. And there we go, Ryan Wayne hitting pit road this time by. Taylor Butcher-Benjamin comes in as well, as does Cody Witt. Now, this is the kicker here. I don't think Aaron Raymond's got the fuel to go the distance, because he pitted with about 40 laps to go, and these drivers are only going 30 laps.
Okay, I mean, interesting. I guess we'll have to see, because the thing about SRA is that we don't really know. We're going to have to play the guessing game on how long we think these drivers can go. And Gudger, very, very wide coming into pit lane, but he's going to be the next one down pit road as well. I don't know if they ran their tanks all the way out here, though, Nolan. Maybe they're either one, going for the undercut, or two, trying to split this last stint in half. So I'm gonna back Aaron Raymond for the excitement factor and say that he does have enough fuel to make it to the end, and that these guys like Jared Duda, Zane Bailey, Michael Gudger all teammates at Ford Racing, as you can't forget about Jared Judah, of course, teammates of those 2 cars as well. I think those 3 have to catch down Aaron Raymond if they want to win this race.
They are down pit road now. And this is going to be, of course, the big ticket. It is money stop time at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And this is where we're going to really find out who's got the strategy game down pat this afternoon. Aaron Raymond, 5 seconds off the leaders. There is Raymond just there, passing by contenders as he makes his way to the front straightaway. And official takes over the lead, and it's going to be quite the gap that Duda and Bailey have to run down, but they only have to run the gap down if Raymond has the fuel to go the distance.
Yeah, not only that, but they also have 31 laps to do so.
And
gap, let's see.
Sorry, critically as well, they also have 13 lap pressure tires, so that gap's going to be coming down pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. It's going to be so difficult for Raymond to hold on here if he does have the fuel. But I always like to back the off strategy, you know, that B strategy, that alternate strategy. I think it makes the race more fun. You know, it adds some excitement to the cast, it adds some excitement to those at home watching. As Jim Coleman'sberger and Aaron May, I think they've just been swapping positions back and forth this entire race, Nolan, as those two have been scrapping at it all night. But now Gudger, outside of, is that Dan? No, it's Cody Witt. Okay, so that's the 4 car. He is going to be a lap down, so hopefully he doesn't interfere too much with the battle between these 3 Ford Racing teammates, although, is he?
Getting a little bit twitchy there, although able to gather things up for the time being. Okay, then. So battles are still yet to kick off as Jared Duda and Michael Gudger helping out Zane Bailey, and they are still working together. The Coleman'sberger and May and Steve Begaud also still in the mix. Well, we are less than 30 laps away from the end. Racing action continues here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll be back in a moment on Green Flag TV. Stay with us as you watch side by side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Rev TV brings the world of motorsports into your home with over 100 live race series such as MotoGP, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, Extreme E, World Superbike, and the newly launched all-electric E1 series. From 2 wheels to 4, from land to sea, your destination is Rev TV.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV as racing action continues to fight on here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. My name is Little Ramble along Lucas Moody, bringing you all of racing action here from start to finish. You're watching the fight with Jim Coleman'sberger, Richard May, Steve Begaud, Ryan Wayne, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. A 5-way fight from 6th through 10th, currently ongoing with less than 25 laps to go.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute heater to the end, and if you missed it earlier, if you just got here, don't worry, I'll fill you in on the storyline. Aaron Raymond might have enough fuel to make it to the end, but he is on 13 lap older tires than that of Zane Bailey behind. So the question is, for those at home, if Aaron can make it to the end, can Bailey catch up before the end of the race? And whoa, those are some big numbers, Nolan.
Talking over 0.7 of a second a lap gains for Zane Bailey. He is closing at a very rapid pace that has not dipped down at all. And I think Raymond being held up by some lap traffic to boot. Meanwhile, Coleman'sberger trying to fend off a hornet's nest. Aaron May, the watching. Oh, hold on! Look out behind as one truck caught the wall. That was the 88 of Kyle Strauss, who was laps down. Right now, you're looking for the 10 of Richard May in the midst of this, and then there is the 83 of Stephen McGough, who is for position. He's going to go down the inside of Coleman'sberger on 8-lap fresher tires, and Blitz around him.
Yeah, in this being a recruitment series, we have a lot of new drivers here in the stream as Jim Duda gets the pass done for Zane Bailey, and Paul Witt is a lap down, but he might look to follow as well. But anyways, a lot of new drivers here in the series, and probably not a lot of new people watching at home as well. So if you are new to the channel, it would be so helpful. We'd appreciate it so much if you drop a sub at the bottom of our page, please. We are only 70 subscribers off of 2,000, so every single person helps so much, because 2,000 is an absolutely insane milestone to hit for a casting channel like ours. So it would help super much. And while you're down there hitting subscribe, you might as well turn the bell on so you're notified of every time we go live. And you might as well drop the stream a like to help us out with the YouTube algorithm.
Aaron Raymond down pit road as the Black's tire number 6 makes his final stop of the night. He'll drop 20 seconds behind Jared Duda, and I'm sorry to say, unless he's going to be reeling in over a second a lap, he is not catching these guys for the lead of the race. It's now a fight between Duda, Bailey, and Gutter for the top spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nolan, you were indeed right. Aaron Raymond did not have the fuel to make it to the end, and his run at looking for the win here tonight will be over. But what's not over is my prediction all the way back at the beginning of this race. Started back in 7th, if you remember. Currently, Zane Bailey is in 2nd place and chasing down Jared Duda for the victory here at Las Vegas. And once again, Dan Witt has to come down pit road again. He's been on an off strategy the entire race here tonight, so a bit of an unfortunate race for him. I think he just got offset with some of the early cautions there. But yeah, Zane Bailey, can he get it done? It's going to be feisty, and of course, if anything happens between these two drivers, Michael Gudgeon, the 64, he's right there waiting to step in.
Coming up on Greenflight TV, it's a busy month ahead of us. Quite a few leagues shutting their doors, a lot of season finales, and qualifying day for one of those finales is tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Full day coverage officially begins at 1. Commentary begins at 3. In a 4-hour qualifying session, over 40 drivers are set to qualify for the 8th annual Paper Recycling Systems Indy 500, which will be coming on up on the 23rd of the month. And then on Monday night, it's the High Tide Racing League Premier Series with the Las Vegas Motor Speedway taking playing host to yet another round of Gen 4 competition. Then it's the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series at Bristol. PSR Racing out at Circuit of the Americas. The Beerly will be out on Wednesday night as well. Zero Tour Racing League action back for more Lucas. They'll be at the action track. You missed quite the show last night at Atlanta Motor Speedway. If you haven't seen the finish there, check it out. I've never seen such a dummy being sold for the lead coming to the white flag, followed by a bump and run to steal it back at 190 miles an hour. And then, of course, the SRA, Gen 4, Superspeedway Blitz, will be back for more. They are not in Atlanta, like it says. They will be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway just prior to Bump Day on Saturday. So lots to be excited about coming up then, Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good races all up and down Green Flag TV here. And I am so bummed to, of course, miss the ZTRL race at New Atlanta, as that is one of my favorite tracks to race here on iRacing. But I was casting for my school's charity 24-hour stream where what's the best way to say it? Where we not donated, but we raised. Oh my God, I don't know. I couldn't think of that word. Where we raised over $1,500 for the gamers outreach. So it was super, super successful. And I had so much fun with it. We played Pico Park, we played Phasmophobia, we played Repo, Jackbox, all the fun party games. And I was there for 9 hours, all the way from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Absolutely had a blast.
And of course, a new league actually, that I forgot to mention, right? We got a new league coming to Green Flag TV as well this coming Saturday as well. It is the Precision Automobile Club Esports. Pace will be joining us with their brand new GR86 race, and that will be on Saturday afternoon on Sunday afternoon prior to the to Blaze Metals Arc Series action later on that night, and of course during the Bump Day stream as well. It's 10 minutes of qualifying, followed by a 15-minute sprint race, and then a 30-minute main event. Not going to be action you want to miss, as their season kicks off across the pond in Europe. They will be out for racing action at Oulton Park, so don't want to miss that as well. GR86s have always been good fun. I've never understood why more leagues don't run them. I mean, there's a reason why they're regarded some of the best club cars you can find at the IRC service. Zane Bailey, meanwhile, still tracking to the back of Jared Duda.
Yeah, this battle has been close and close and close for the past 10 to 15 laps, but it is so hard to just make a straight up pass and clean here, in clean air around Las Vegas here. And you bring up the GR86s. I've never been a fan of them. Personally, I love the MX-5. So if I was ever given the option to run the GR86s or the MX-5s, I mean, I'm taking the Miatas 10 days out of 10 just because that car is and just everything about driving that car feels so good to me. The way it gets loose when you try to turn the corners, the way you have to like manhandle it around the slower corners. I love those Miatas so much.
9 laps the distance. Aaron Raymond blitzing by Taylor Butcher Benjamin with 8 for the 8th place spot. And it's going to be a fight between Duda and Bailey for numbers 1 and number 2. A 10th and a half still between them. So far, they have not been keen to fight it out for the race win, but how long is that going to last?
Yeah, I think Zane Bailey's just biding his time. I mentioned it earlier, he is one of the drivers that likes to play for the longer run pace, play a little bit more conservatively. And I think that when you're in the dirty air, when you're running this close to somebody, it's really easy to burn up your tires. So I think he's just really taking it easy, just waiting for the mistake from Jared Duda, waiting to see if he can get a run. And maybe, just maybe he can find it here, Nolan, as he's got the left rear quarter panel. They're going to be side by side into one.
Zane Bailey looking to go around the top side, coming down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. Bailey to the high lane. And Jared Duda tucks back in line. He'll try to close it in one more time. Michael Gudger still sitting 3.4 seconds back. And we'll see if Duda's got an answer for him in the back few laps, as Jernigan and Bualda both hit pit road.
Yeah, what's so cool about this battle is these two are, good teammates, good friends. They respect each other just like Zane Bailey and Gudger respect each other. These two show each other the exact same respect. I guess that's the word of the day, as I've said it so many times. But they're always going to bring good, clean, hard racing for us. And, I mean, looking at the standings, Nolan, sorry. It's a Ford Racing 1-2-3. They've locked out the podium. So it's going to be a great result from those 3 drivers. I'm sure they're going to be absolutely elated in their Discord call after this race is over, and maybe even cause for some celebration and some champagne.
Jared Duda pulls to within a 10th of a second of Zane Bailey. He looks for the inside, entering turn number 3. Bailey's left the door open. Duda gonna try to take this one down low, and it's neck and neck out of turn 4 to the line. 4 laps to go, and Jared Duda looking to take the lead right back away from Zane Bailey, who's trying to go back to back.
Zane Bailey still holding that outside line. It's going to be a longer way around the track, but you do get better runs, more speed out of the corner. Bailey even taps the wall. A little bit of a misjudge there, and they almost touch each other, Nolan.
Talk about close between the two. Remember rule number 1, don't take out your teammate. That's been such an issue for drivers over the last week or so on Green Flag TV across the board in different leagues. And Duda trying to see if he's got an answer.
Bailey chooses to block low this time around. No move though sent in from the 53 machine. They're gonna go single file down the front straight once again. And with 2 to go, Jared Duda within a 10.5 of Zane Bailey. This will be a finish for the books. And now we're 3 wide actually, just behind them. It's Kolmensberger, May, and I believe the lapped car.
And that's McGo in the 83.
Those have to fight for 4th.
So the fight for 4th can go the way of Richard May. Meanwhile, a lap and a half to go. Duda again trying to look for the inside with Zane Bailey coming to the white flag this time.
Yeah, here we go. The crucial white flag lap. We've seen Michael Gudger lose a race with Cody Gibson on the white flag at Old Atlanta just probably 3 months ago now at this point. But here we go. It's all going to kick off as the inside quarter panels being gotten by Jared Duda. They're going to be side by side exiting 2 and side by side down the back straight.
Zane Bailey holds on for the time being. One more chance at the turn numbers 3 and 4. Lap traffic could very well play spoiler in the battle. Zane Bailey gonna have to go up top. Jared Duda going with them, chasing him up the hill. Out of turn 4 to the front straightaway. And Zane Bailey holds on to win in Nevada.
Jared Duda, Michael Gudger will round out your podium. It's a Ford Racing 1-2-3 here tonight as Aaron Raymond using his fresher tires.
Oh, he takes out really Kolmensberger!
He just turns Kolmensberger. What are we doing?
And Aaron Raymond does it again. Not the first time that he has bumped a driver for, well, this wasn't even for a win. It was just for a spot. And I imagine Kolmensberger is not going to be a happy camper at all.
I am so speechless.
Zane Bailey will be the one to take that win away as he comes down to the front straightaway. And what an afternoon for Bailey is. He is a back-to-back winner in the Superspeedway Blitz.
I mean, I hate to say I called it, but 125 laps ago when you asked me the question, who are you backing to win this race? I backed the person starting in 7th, and he's able to make up 6 positions and bring it home for the win at Las Vegas Motor Speedways. He's burning it down on those dice down the front stretch, and what a race. Battles all up and down the field, battles for 4th, battles for 1st. We have people spinning each other for 4th, as I think we're getting an on board of Aaron Raymond of this last lap incident here.
Kolmensberger slowed up a little bit, and I mean, Aaron Raymond never really lifted there. Let's take another look at this one from the air this time. So Kolmensberger was slowing up in front. Raymond had about 12 lap pressure tires. Kolmensberger held the inside. Raymond tried to go for the over-under. Kolmensberger didn't move, and Raymond just drives right through him.
Yeah, that's definitely intentional. That's definitely a bump and run, as you would call it.
Hey,
here
to be
in
fair,
NASCAR.
If that's a bump and run, that's about as clean as it's going to happen. But
I was about to say, yeah, it's true.
well, all of that takes us to the end of racing action here this afternoon. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results from Vegas. It's Zane Bailey coming home number 1, Duda number 2, then it's Gudger, Aaron Raymond, Kolmensberger, May, Roy, Butch Benjamin, Wayne, and Jordan Martin for the top 10.
And then finishing in 11th, it is going to be Dan Witt, followed by McGo, Condra, Swafford, Adkins, Lane Jr., all finishing a lap down. And then 2 laps down, it's going to be Bawalda Jr., King, Jernigan, and Gilmore to wrap out your top 20.
And following them, it's Wreckage, Strauss, Burke, both Witts, Duda, Elric, George, Brian Mescal Jr., David Anderson, Lance Yancey, and Tyler Muller finished out a 31-car field. And by the way, some clarification on the incident that happened there, Lucas. As it turns out, Kolmsberger ran out of gas. So that makes sense. That explains it a lot more, what happened. I was wondering, like, I didn't think they got into each other. I don't know why he'd be angry at him enough to turn him on the final lap, but running out of fuel, yeah, that'll do it. Can't really do much about that. If a truck like slows up in front of you, that'd be effectively like getting a brake check going. Well, no sign of there's our race winner Zane Bailey here, as we will get the chance to bring Zane up here to the broadcast booth and get a chit chat in here with the driver that finishes this race on the top step of the podium. Zane, back to back from Daytona. It's got to feel good to kick off a title defense.
Yeah, it feels good. I typically am not very good here just because it's so tight. It's like a worse version of Michigan. At least Michigan, you build loose. It's kind of like Superspeedway. It's like a worse version of Atlanta Motor Speedway, the new version, and Michigan. And I'm finally glad to get a win here.
Kind of talk us through racing action here tonight. I mean, obviously, this win, it's a big one for you. And how overall do you feel about the day? It was a bit of a messy start, but once you guys got going, it was green to the end.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about the day. There was that one crash and I barely avoided early. Now it's scary. But yeah, I thought there was just going to be a whole lot more cautions. But I'm happy it went green. It was a very fun fuel mileage race at the end.
Well, next week, it's going to be a trip around the Brickyard at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Not typically what you'd think of when you go to a super speedway, but still a lot of draft going to be involved. What is in store for you in that number 20 as we get set to go back racing?
I don't really know. I've only raced Indianapolis once in trucks and once in Xfinity, and that was like a year and a half ago, so I have like zero experience there.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again. Congratulations on taking number 1 tonight, and we'll see you when we go racing next week.
Yep, thank you.
Zane Bailey comes home number 1 this afternoon, and, well, we will move on down to Jared Duda, the driver that comes home number 2, and Lucas, you're standing by with our runner-up.
Welcome, Jared Duda. Congratulations on the second place finish, but I bet you wanted a little bit more out there today. Talk us through your mentality.
Yeah, I wanted to win that one. It came down to fuel mileage, obviously, and with about 6 laps to go, Zane was looking outside, and I was still like just on the edge of being able to make it, and I didn't want to start pushing and end up running out. So I let him go a little bit too easily, and then was able to get back to him and just wasn't able to complete a pass. Tried a couple times in the last few laps, and bottom was just terrible when you're side by side like that. So I just shouldn't have let him go. But what do you do? It was a good race, and I'm glad our group finished 1, 2, 3, so can't really complain.
I was about to say, yeah, your Ford Racing teammates, Michael Gudger, Zane Bailey, joining you on the podium here tonight. I mean, that must feel good. That Discord call must have been pretty electric after the race.
Yeah, it's always fun. I mean, when you race against each other, we all want to win, but congrats to Zane, though. He ran a good race and was able to save enough fuel and put her in front of me and won the race. Mike got a little bit caught out on fuel strategy. Had to come one lap a little early, so that kind of scurried his chance at the win, but still coming home top 3, can't complain.
All right, and my final question for you here today, Jared, is do you have any sponsors or people you'd like to shout out or thank?
Yeah, shout out the guys at SRA, Thomas, Paul. They put on a good league. Excited to be back. I haven't been racing SRA too much recently, so it felt good to kind of get back. It's been a hectic fall here, and hopefully I'll be around more for the Blitz here and then the actual truck series. So yeah, shout out to those guys. You guys on Green Flag TV put on a broadcast. Excited to go watch it back. My crew chief, he drives the 053, put together a stellar Ford F-150 tonight. So I rolled off truck fast, qualified not great, but was able to run around. Had to come through the field once, but that just makes it a little bit more fun. And then he also painted my truck and Shout out to the guys at Duda Racing, Manji Motorsports, always bringing fast trucks, and then obviously my teammates. I already shouted them out, and I don't know if there was a sponsor of the race. If there was, let me know. I'll shout them out because that's always good. But yeah.
All right, I do not believe there is a sponsor to tonight's race, but thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out of your day to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, well, that was our second place finisher, Jared Duda, and now Nolan has caught up to the third place finisher, rounding out that podium, the 64 of Michael Gudger.
Michael Gudger comes home number 3 here at the end of the night, and Michael, was looking like it was going to be a fight between you, Duda, and Bailey for the final stages there, and unfortunately you finish a good distance back from these guys. What happened there to see you finish so far behind the top 2?
I just used up too much fuel on that next to last run. Had to pit a lap earlier, and that absolutely got me behind on the 8-ball, and they were pushing the pace the whole way, trying to run each other out of gas, and I just had to lay off and actually save, and was able to make it across the line in third. But I liked leading, but I burned up too much fuel kind of trying to catch Aaron there on that next to last run. If I had just pulled back, saved that lap there, I probably could have been right up there with the 3 of them, and it would have been 3 wide across the line maybe, but still a good run. Most laps led, pole position, can't be too upset about that. And going to Indy next week, I love Indianapolis, so it'll be a very exciting race there.
Kind of walk us through the strategy game tonight, because obviously a lot of the cautions that we saw in the early portions kind of threw strategy to the wind. At what point did you reckon that you had this strategy locked out for you and the team?
I don't know. We were expecting some more cautions after that last one. I think that last one was like, I want to say lap 30, thereabout. None of us were expecting it to go green, but then after we got that first green flag pit stop, it all got into our heads like, what if this goes green? And then we started thinking about that, and we realized, yeah, this is probably going to go green, and that's when the fuel saving started. But, yeah, just another fuel saving race. It looked like it was going to be a caution fest at the beginning there, and I guess I'd rather fuel saving than a caution fest. But overall, solid result, and I can't really complain too much about it.
Well, next week is Indianapolis. No doubt there is still more time yet to come to get that championship back. Congratulations on taking home a solid run tonight, and we'll be talking to you again, hopefully before too long.
Alrighty, thank you.
Michael Gudger comes home number 3 here this afternoon, and Lucas, that's going to do it for our podium interviews here this afternoon. Quite the wild race that we had here this afternoon, and still a long way to go before this season is over.
Yeah, I'm so happy that these drivers got that really nice and long green flag run to finish off the race. They got out their jitters at the beginning with those 2 or 3 cautions that happened earlier, but once that was all said and done, we got our good green flags, we got our good battles, we got our good fuel saving, and we got a great finish between Jared Duda and Zane Bailey.
Well, there's still more action yet to come here on Green Flag TV, as there always is. When we go racing next, it's going to be tomorrow with the Classic IndyCar Series, as we'll see which top 24 will be locked in at the end of pole day, along with the Fast 9 shootout, and then High Time Racing back in Vegas on Monday. The Mid-Atlantic Racing Series heads to Bristol on Tuesday, and PSR's at Code of the Beer League will be out as well, wherever they are racing next. Zero Toy Racing League's out at Richmond, and then SRA returns next Saturday for the Superspeedway Blitz at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. Once again, my name is Will Rempel alongside Lucas Moody. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you when we go racing once again here on Green Flag TV.
Peace.